Welcome back, Raider Nation, to another episode of the Raider D podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about one Brandon Aiyuk, wide receiver standout for the San Francisco 49ers, requesting a trade from the team. Now, listen, we've covered Brandon Aiyuk on this channel in the past and the possibility of him reuniting with Antonio Pierce, who he is very familiar with. Here's the story of what's going on with Brandon Aiyuk and the San Francisco 49ers. They have had a very public fallout for the past several months, pretty much since the Super Bowl, as Brandon Aiyuk was complaining that he was not getting fed the ball during the Super Bowl, and this is a direct correlation as to why they lost the Super Bowl to the Kansas City Chiefs. So what is going on now? Well, since the public fallout and his girlfriend coming out, make Instagram posts, and his buddy coming out, making Instagram posts, they have had supposedly quieted down and been having some negotiations. Well, it turns out that actually isn't the case. They haven't really been having negotiations at all. In fact, the 49ers appear to be giving Aiyuk the cold shoulder, to the point now where Brandon Aiyuk has officially come out and said, trade me, get me out of here. Now, some of the stuff that has kind of correlated to this, he was having a conversation with the Washington Redskins' new quarterback, Jaden Daniels, the standout from LSU.
They said they don't want me back. I swear.
So now the public spat has blown up into a full-blown trade me or else type of situation. It is important to understand that the 49ers have dealt with this in the past with Deebo Samuel. He did the same thing, and he ended up getting a 3-year, $56 million extension onto his contract. It is important to note that the 49ers do have the type of money necessary to pay Brandon Aiyuk the money that he is requiring. Now, what type of money is Brandon Aiyuk going to require? He is 26 years old. He's in the 5th year of his contract, and he did have a standout year last year with 75 receptions, over 1,000 yards receiving, and 7 touchdowns. Amon-Ra St. Brown of the Detroit Lions just got a deal, and A.J. Brown just got an $84 million deal. And therefore, this is the type of money that Brandon Aiyuk is going to be requiring from the San Francisco 49ers, and they have the cap space to do it, but do they have the willingness to do it? Perhaps the 49ers don't feel as though they need Brandon Aiyuk since they have George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey, and Deebo Samuel. So maybe they think that they can get away with adding some cheaper value at the wide receiver position, make him play on that 5th year option, which they have him on currently because he's still under contract, and then let him walk as a free agent. However, this would not be the optimal way of doing it. Brandon Aiyuk brings value. And if you trade him now, you could easily get, at the very minimum, a 2nd round draft pick, possibly a 1st round draft pick for him. And so the question now becomes, should the Raiders make a trade for Brandon Aiyuk? I've said it in the past. I love Davante Adams, and I'm saying 1,000% Davante Adams isn't going anywhere for this season, especially we need him. But Davante Adams is 31 years old. He's only got a couple years of being an elite receiver left in him. His clock is ticking, and Brandon Aiyuk is an up-and-coming wide receiver who has elite receiver skills, separation, hand, route running, everything. He's got what you want. He's only 26. If we were to trade somebody to the 49ers or a draft pick to the 49ers, adding Brandon Aiyuk opposite of Davante Adams is going to create a dynamic receiver duo, the likes of which the entire NFL would salivate for. Tom Telesco should absolutely be picking up the phone and inquiring, what would it cost to bring Brandon Aiyuk to the Raiders? We have the salary cap as well, especially if you backload his contract a few years out. Do you think the Raiders should pick up the phone, call the 49ers, and inquire about Brandon Aiyuk? And if you're wondering why the Raiders still haven't drafted a guy like Xavier Howard, check out this video right here.